This is a book about Anne Marie Johansson. It is a novel. I was very sad to find that out because I wanted a part 2. But this is a book about Anne Marie Johansson, who is living in Copenhagen, Denmark during World War II. Her best friend, Ellen Rosen, is actually Jewish. So when the Germans start their relocation plan, her best friend Ellen is going to be caught right in the midst of it, and so are they. So they decided that they might as well, the Johanssons that is, they might as well help Ellen escape the Nazis. 17 chapters and an afterword by Lois Lowry about what is truth and what is fiction in this book. So it won the John Newbery Medal. I think the reason that I enjoyed this so much is because in class we didn't just read it all in one day, but we would read 2 or 3 chapters and then we would stop and we would write down our thoughts about that chapter. We would write down what we thought was going to happen next, how the characters were developing, and we got a much broader picture of everything that was happening because we stopped and we were slowed. However, I did read the first few chapters back after getting this, before doing this review, because we started it about a month ago, and that's the one thing about doing it that way. You're going to start forgetting the minor details at the front, which, you know, you want to keep the major details. But it's a really, really good novel. You don't really find anything quite like it. And it does touch on a few of the resistance tactics, the secret meetings against the Nazis, and Anne Marie's older sister. A lot of people were hurt and killed. What I thought was really interesting was that in the book they mention handkerchiefs that the German dogs smell, and then they get really interested in the smell, and then when they smell it, suddenly their nose just stops. They stop sniffing it. And that is because after the Nazis used police dogs, the Swedish scientists, who were the only people who were allowed to do such things since they were still free, created a powder with dried rabbit's blood and cocaine, which stopped the dogs from, sniffing. I mean, they could still sniff, but it temporarily destroyed and numbed their noses. It's very interesting to see Anne Marie go through a daily life with Nazi soldiers just kind of intruding on her day. It's not that long of a book, but I suggest that you read it in little bits and pieces and write down what you think at that moment, because you're going to actually interpret the book differently than if you just read it all flat. And make sure to make time for tea and a good book. But today it's just a good book.